All right. This is the Wisecracker podcast. This is episode 8, I believe, I think that's right. I am Historic 66. I am here with Texas Toasted, BFD, and Stylus Crude. Geeky Clean is spending time with his loved ones, which makes sense. It is spring break and whatnot. Time for spending time with those you love. Quick correction before we get going. We talked about, speaking of geeky, we talked about Tammy and the T-Rex in episode 3, not episode 2. I said in the last episode, I was like, oh, we talked about that in episode 2. It's episode 3, the Halloween episode that we talked about Tammy and the T-Rex. News update. We're going to be delaying the Cracking Up 48-hour film challenge until later in the year. I spoke with someone that hopefully will be partnering with us on that, and they suggested that we put it at the in the latter portion of the year, since Sato is in April and the 48-hour film challenges are typically pretty grueling. We probably don't want to do 2 of them back to back, and so we'll probably push it back to like September, October, August, somewhere in that area. We are also hard at work as a group planning Year of the Wisecracker, which will be our 10th anniversary. That's all of next year. It's a multimedia event covering all kinds of video and audio and all kinds of fun stuff, leading up to a major event in the fourth quarter of 2024. It's under wraps for right now, but it's going to be a super fun event that hopefully we'll have fans by then, and they'll actually be interested in the event. Maybe we'll be popular at that point.
Hey, I'm willing to please a crowd of 4.
Please a crowd of 4. Okay, well, I'll make sure to.
I've done it.
I'll keep it small and intimate.
I like it. A lot of focus.
We also are working on a website, the Wisecracker website, and a store. I'm aiming to launch that this summer. So that's all of the Wisecracker news. In world news or news elsewhere, the Steam Deck is on sale for the first time, which is pretty badass. I've kind of had my eye on one of those for a while. I know, Stylus, you've been sort of looking at them.
Yeah, we actually talked about that earlier today.
Yeah, we did. I want it for a lot of reasons, just because I understand the appeal of wanting to game on a laptop, but the idea of handheld gaming, the Switch has ruined me, just straight up.
Yeah, no, that's legit. I was playing Mario Kart earlier today, and I was just like, damn. It would be nice if I could do this with other games.
Yeah, I like the concept of the Steam Deck, and I think it could be a really, really cool thing. Valve is notorious for being like, here's something really cool. We're never going to support it ever again. It's going to go to absolute shit.
That's literally the only thing that makes me hesitate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the idea of it is awesome. I mean, it's like we talked about the last time. Yeah, well, that's like we talked about the last time. Like for me, the more I play with the Switch, the more I'm like, dude, this is really everything I enjoy. It takes all my favorite aspects of gaming, whether it's handheld, I can put on TV, play with friends, and it's the same kind of concept. Only it has my whole Steam library on there, and it's super awesome. But if they maintain it, I mean, it's only as cool as the people that are backing it.
I think it's really cool that they're putting it on sale right now.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's why their sales are low.
Yeah,
their sales are low because people are hesitant, like us. We're afraid
I hope that it's successful.
You're just going to leave us hanging again.
Part of me really feels like it's going to end up being like the Dreamcast.
Yep.
And just make me sad.
Yeah.
But I'm tempted to get it for specific titles like Left 4 Dead or Ark or just doing that mobile.
Well, and also another thing that makes me, another one of their problems is just the whole VR thing. Steam has their VR stuff, but it's not super popular because they just don't market it. They have no real marketing, so it's never going to be it's kind of like a Sixes and I have talked about with Silver Dollar City and the company that owns them. If it's not immediately successful, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And Valve is very much that way. It wasn't immediately successful, so it's crap, we're moving on. It's no, you just no one even knew this existed until oh man, Steam Summer Sale. What the shit?
Yeah.
They have a VR thing? Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you have commercials for Oculus all the time and how they can be used in business and video gaming and all these different things. And Steam still does not have a single real marketing agenda at all for their VR
it's
system.
Wild.
Yeah.
You want to know? You want to know what would make me buy a Steam Deck? Is if they just owned it and just went for it and made a commercial similar to the like 90 or early 2000s, I think maybe the Burger King commercial where it's just that really hot chick in a swimsuit eating a burger on the hood.
It was Hardee's.
Hardee's.
It was Hardee's.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Hardee's.
Yeah, if they market
be
it,
like, well, maybe
if they market
now.
it like that, just
Yeah.
a really hot goth girl, like on a couch, just like
playing the
boys.
Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm sold.
One other thing that I saw just earlier today. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day, I guess. By the time this thing gets out, St. Patrick's Day will have been well
Slanche,
in the
boys.
past,
Slanche.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah. Also, as far as happy belated birthday podcast wise, Sixes.
Oh, happy
Yeah,
birthday, Sixes.
indeed.
Yes, I'm 35 now. I'm an old man. I saw a thing earlier today. It's the Zipline drone, and it's basically an alternative or a competitor to Amazon's like delivery drone that they've got. But the idea is that these people would market it to like Uber for like Uber Eats, or market it to like DoorDash, and like anybody that wanted to use this technology could use it. It's supposedly like eco-friendly. I think it uses like as it flies through the air, it like uses that air to like recharge itself or something. It's lightweight. You'll have to, there's a video on YouTube, you should look it up. It's called Zipline drone. But it looks really, really cool. I don't know if it's like available yet, but it looks like some really promising technology. I'm pretty excited about it.
You know who needed the drone? Wish.
What's that?
Wish needed the drone.
Well, they tried that with the hot air balloon.
Yeah, but only if Wish's drones.
That was Alibaba.
I'll only like agree with you if Wish's drones are as quality as their products.
But they would be.
Just
They
like
would
one
100
super
they would
janky, fuming, sparking, one-winged drone.
Well, okay, so
It's
what
just
I
literally
imagine-
someone showing up with a drone on a hat, handing you your stuff.
Did you all see that? This story came out a long time ago, but MSNBC covered it recently. And they were talking about they were interviewing some mom that like bought one of those knockoff NESs off of like Amazon, and there was a bunch of like porn games and a bunch of like,
oh my god,
really like violent shit on there. And her kid was like, "Mommy, like, why is Mowgli naked like in the Jungle Book and shit like that?" And then she was like, "I can't believe it." And somebody in the comments was like, "I can't believe I bought this illegal knockoff product on Amazon and it turned out to be like shady or whatever." But then the best part was they showed the anchor playing the fucking thing. He's like, "Oh my goodness, look at Mowgli. Oh, that's horrible. I can't believe this." And they're fucking showing it on the TV. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, Jesus Christ. But that's what I imagine would happen eventually with the drone technology at Amazon, is eventually like third-party vendors would start furnishing the drones, and so the quality of drone delivery you would get would be based upon the company sending you the thing. So like some like crappy fly-by-night company would send you a drone that like crashes through your front window or some shit like that. That would, okay, I'm pitching that at the end for a sketch. That's a good idea. Like these like crappy knockoff drones, they're like crashing through people's windows and like falling on people's like children and stuff like that. Like he's fine, but like traumatized a little.
The things you could do like for a skit like that, like just morph it into like the Hogwarts modern day, like instead of owls.
Yeah, they send
just
drones
a drone.
instead. No, actually, in my Henry Porter series that I'm working on, that's what they do. They're called owls, and it's the orbital wireless letter carrier, and it like flies around. It's a little drone that like and you put your thumb to a plate on it, and that's how it like verifies that you're the person that's supposed to get the letter, and then it like drops it into your hand and then flies away. So
fucking amazing.
Speaking of Harry Potter, random thought: how does Voldemort's curse on the Defense Against the Dark Arts position work? Like, did it trigger as soon as Dumbledore denied him the job? Like, did it wait a while? Did it wait till Harry showed up? Did it work while he was a ghost? Also, what was his plan? Like, did he hope that eventually Dumbledore would just run out of people to teach it and be like, well, I guess I better call fucking Tom. Like, there's nobody else. They've all died or been maimed or quit in some capacity. Like, it just seems like a very weird poorly thought. I don't know. Maybe that's just
Hey, that's Hogwarts, man. It's the safest wizarding school in the world.
Well, I mean, Voldemort
hide in
seems
plain
like
sight.
he was.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Didn't Voldemort die like in his 70s, and most wizards die like when they're 120 years old or something like that? Like, he could have lived longer if he had just not been an asshole.
I don't think you understand the dark.
Then he got to die twice. What an idiot!
That's like the MO.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with Dumbledore was just rolling the dice and not really having a super big game plan, because that seems to be what he does in literally all of the movies. It's just like, hey, random dude that likes to collect random creatures and take care of them as a magical zoologist, save the world.
Yeah,
but you're the most powerful you're the most powerful wizard in the world. Why can't you do it? See, I've got a game plan. I get the glory and the money. You shut your mouth and work in the factory. Do you understand what I'm saying, son? You are the American hero. You know, like it's just like your average CEO of a billionaire company.
But
that's Dumbledore. Like he's rolling the dice, hoping
that's
his
what
crap
makes him
works.
so incredible, though. Is it's always like, you don't need to know right now, and then like one scene later, it's like, shit's hit the fucking fan. We gotta go.
Where's
the chosen one?
Animation where it's like the Ninja Turtles are first like they're first like becoming heroes or whatever, and Splinter's like looking around, he's like, oh, Donatello, you need a mask. Here's a dirty diaper. Put it on your head. Put it on his head or whatever. And he's like, you need weapons. Here is a stick. Use this. He just hands him like a regular stick. It's like whatever he can find laying around. He's like, they're like, you're just grabbing random things. He's like, no. This is the way of the ninja. Like he's like,
well, at least he has an excuse. They live in a sewer. He's got to make do with what he's got to do. And like ninjas, like they use tools out of everything. Like everything's a tool. They can use it. Their master's death. He has an excuse. Dumbledore's just like, I'm awesome, just lazy as shit. You do all the work. I'm going to hang out in the office with my bitchin' bird.
And then whenever things get tight, I'm going to use that bitchin' bird to just vanish.
He's like, oh shit, I'm going to jail? No, I'm not.
Yep.
This is Harry's problem now.
Yes, I'd like to make an announcement to the system. Get fucked. And then he just disappears.
Just fucking I Dream of Genies his way out of there. He's like, nope.
Whoa. I'm all about following the rules of witchcraft and wizardry and being a good citizen. Unless I have to do it. Vanishes. Bursts into flame, disappears. I'm like, you fucking criminal. He's like, no. This fucking teenage kid's going to prove me right. I'm not doing shit, but the teenager's going to totally say, hey, he was cool.
I love it.
I really imagine, like, in my head, I was feeling like, outside of his office, this McGonagall just like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? He just vanished?
There's all those like memes and stuff too of Dumbledore that I love. And it's like, hey, I've really invented this like super cool system of like points. Like if you do really good as a student, your house gets points, and at the end they get some kind of an award. And then it's just like it has Malfoy in the side. It's like, that's a really cool system. That's a really cool system. Shut the fuck up. 1,000 points to Gryffindor. It's just like that's what it was.
It's true. With that, let us move along to our final segment in the intro here. Funny bullshit. I'll let Toast start this part out. But we were talking earlier about stealth games. So do you want to talk for a minute or so about Dishonored and your experiences with that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I've been playing Dishonored. I've never gave it a chance when it first came out. It's a cool game. It's really interesting. The artwork is really neat. But you're like this. You're like a stealthy assassin. You're supposed to sneak around and take out specific targets, right? But I haven't been playing it that way. I've just been going on a murderous rampage. Every mission I go to, nobody lives. Like, I'm a very good assassin because nobody knows who I am. Every time I meet somebody, I kill them. I'm never made. I've never been made.
Hey, man, dead men tell no tales exist for a reason. Right.
Dead men, dead women, dead everybody.
Define stealth. Hey, I wasn't seen because the people who did died, so no one knows that I was seen.
Exactly.
It's a bloodbath.
Exactly.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah, we asked you to assassinate the president of Russia, not Russia as a country. Well, hey, man.
They're all gone.
Did anyone see me?
I do leave I do leave survivors. If they don't see me, or if they're not in my way, then I don't
Or
have
if
to
you
kill
need
them.
to,
I'm
like,
not hunting
tell everyone
people
what they
down.
saw, like,
No, it's not that you're leaving survivors. You're just neglecting witnesses.
exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't kill you because of neglect. I'm sorry.
Probably a decade ago, one of the games with gold was the Hitman Absolution, and so I downloaded it, and I like the very first part of that game. You're in like a not a it's like a skyrise apartment or something, and you got to get on this elevator. Well, I killed everybody. Like I went through and just like killed everyone and took everyone's outfits and just murdered everyone in the entire building. And then later on, I looked up like a speed run of it, and basically it should just take you a second, and you're not supposed to kill anybody. You're supposed to like go around the corner and like choke a guy out, take his access card, and then let yourself into like the build the elevator or whatever. But yeah, just like Toast, like the further I went in that game, the more people that died. Like at one point I was in like the restaurant district in Tokyo, and it's like by the time I got done, it was a ghost town. I had murdered every single person that I saw because I was like, because the thing is, in that game, if you get caught, you have to start the whole damn mission over. And sometimes those missions, like the save points, are few and far between. And I was like, I'm gonna be damned if I'm gonna play this level over again. So it'd be like, hey, wait a second, who are you? And I'm just like, kablam, kablam. I'm gonna put people out windows, slitting throats, blowing up cars with car bombs. I'm like, no, 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 no. You will all fucking die.
Just some fucking rando replacement because somebody was sick. Just trying to do his job. Just shines the light. He's like, wait, who are you? What's that gun? Oh, damn.
That's pretty much the entire tactic of Metal Gear Solid.
Basically, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think
Like I was like, listen, I can wear a cardboard box, or I could just shoot every motherfucker that sees me. That's my favorite part about that game. Is
That's
like, all right,
why
we need
they
you to
give
infiltrate
you the
this.
automatic weapons.
Well, yeah, and then they like you infiltrate this base. So like, hey, you're gonna fight this guy in a tank. What did the rest of like? How stealthy is that? What's the rest of the bank thinking? Like, oh, dude, did you hear that tank go off? Yeah, fucking rats, man. He hates that shit. Like, oh man, no one's gonna come check that out while you kill this dude and all of his ravens.
Doesn't seem to matter, does it? Might as well just kill them all.
Is that the sniper going off? Yeah, just plucking out fucking field mice.
She's out there popping tranquilizers and shooting our gun again.
Just popping womp rats, you know.
the old GameCube Splinter Cells. Like, have you? I'm sure you guys have seen Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just sitting there loading the rounds in, and then like. And Splinter Cell was like, this mission requires stealth. And then the next thing is that meme where it's just like, shame.
Yep. That's me. That's me.
100%.
Stealth is optional. Say no more, fam. Say less.
There's a fucking mission in Fire Emblems. Like, if you guys have ever played the Fire Emblem games, it's like a tactics game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the missions on the Dreamcast, the GameCube version of Radiant or Path of Radiance is like you're playing like a thief that like upgrades to an assassin later, and there's a mission where it's like you need to sneak through this and like release like the main characters from their cells, and it's like you're supposed to get some like reward. I have yet to do that. Every time I've ever played that game, I'm like, see, I could do that, or I could just slaughter everyone there.
I could just kill them all. That's also an option.
Yeah. Well, it's like Chrono Trigger. Like in Chrono Trigger, like you get put in a jail cell at one point on the Super Nintendo. Like you're just like playing this game. It's like, oh, you're in a jail cell. You need to sneak out of here. I was like, or I can murder everyone in this castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then when I come out of there,
sneak out or breakout. Both are very good options.
And then you get to the final boss, like, hey, you can't get past me. I'm like, well, considering I just killed the entire army, I'm kind of buff right now.
You got to imagine like the animated like version of that story where you just like come out of the jail cell just covered in blood, holding a head. It's like, hold it. You know what? Never mind. You go ahead.
Oh no!
Is that all of the guards?
Oh my god! Is that Michael's head? You're just like
you're wearing a necklace of their ears around your neck.
He had a family.
I hope they had families.
I'm visiting them next. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
It's a true nightmare.
That, we shall move on to what you're watching. I I've been watching a lot of King of the Hill lately because there is the revival coming up. Um, I love that show. I think King of the Hill is hilarious. I think King of the Hill is one of those shows that will always be funny. Like there will always like no matter how many times you see an episode or no matter how much time elapses between the time the episode aired and like now, I feel like King of the Hill will always be funny and always be relevant. And I'm also thinking about getting a Bobby tattoo. I'm not sure what exactly I'm gonna get. But I'm thinking maybe the episode of from the episode where they think he's the reincarnation of the llama, and there's that like screen cap where he's like meditating in his room with like the candles and the incense around him or whatever. I think I might get. I don't know. We'll see. I might get the one of him with Chip Block, the ventriloquist dummy. Or maybe the one after the one of him, the ventriloquist dummy that Hank makes of him at the end of that episode. I don't know.
There you go.
I know. I was a big fan of my tramp stamp idea on the inner thigh.
The I don't know you. That's my purse. Just like it, but it's like kicking me in the balls or whatever. That's actually a really good idea. I actually like that idea.
Especially if we get like animated like versions of ourselves for the podcast, just have it kicking the animated like chibi of you.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, I like that. I also at some point am definitely going to get. I was going to get it as a tramp stamp. I really seriously was. But I actually there's a back piece that I want to get, and this would get in the way of that. But I want to get a executive producer Dick Wolf tattoo somewhere, like on my leg maybe, just because like I fucking love Law and Order SVU. It's like one of my favorite shows ever, and so I don't know. But anyway, that's all that I've really been watching. BFD, what you been watching?
So you said you've been watching a lot of King of the Hill. I need to watch King of the Hill. Because like I've seen a couple of episodes. It's just like the Seinfeld thing, you know. Like it's just, you know, I saw episodes here and there, and it's okay. But I need to just sit down and give it a chance because everyone that I know who has watched that show has just been in love with that show.
Yeah,
and so I need to sit down and kind of watch it. But other than that, like I just mostly been watching. HBO Max has Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Nice.
And they have. I don't know if they have every single episode from every season, but they have episodes from every season, the old ones to the new ones. And like just watching that, it's just been fun. Like it's incredibly impressive, like just the stuff they come up with on the top of their head. But what is the most impressive is it doesn't matter the skit, it doesn't matter the style. Like they are so knowledgeable of like entertainment history that they can be told any kind of entertainment, any music style, any film style, anything, and they have like a knowledge of what that is, and that's what makes the skits so great is because they're playing into those historical, I guess, methods of comedy, and it's so amazing just to have one. I mean, it's funny and to have that quick wit, but it's just to me, it's almost more amazing. Just that cultural knowledge. So I've been watching that and I've been enjoying that. And then Zaboomafoo, because I found out that was on Amazon Prime and I loved that show as a kid.
It is a great show.
So I know that everybody's watching that for like scenes from a hat, but the one thing that never fails to make me just lose my shit is whenever they have to do a hoedown and Ryan Stiles just becomes super aggressive about it. Just like, are you fucking kidding me?
So, fun fact about the hoedown segments: Colin Mockery hates those. It like always, like from the beginning, it's his least favorite segment. He doesn't consider himself to be a good singer, and he really isn't a good singer. He's not good at coming up with like lyrics that quickly. He hates it. And there is they always make him do it because he hates it so much. And there was an episode where he like earlier in the episode he made a reference to the fact that they couldn't hear him. They're like, "Speak up, we can't hear you." And he goes, "Sorry, my battery pack is running low." And then during the hoedown segment later, he just mouthed words and didn't sing anything. And then at the very end, he pressed his back and he's like, "My battery pack." And it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life because it was totally unexpected. And people was like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And then he made a callback to like the first sketch of the night or whatever. And it was just absolutely great. Those guys are hilarious.
Well, and I love that kind of stuff. So there's an episode, I think it's season 3, called "Whistle on Cue" is the title. And at earlier, like they do sound effects, which is one of my favorites, where like Colin acts out a scene, and then Ryan Stiles is sitting there making all the sound effects. Well, at one point he's trying to whistle and he can't. So the entire episode, they just start railing him about like not being able to whistle on command. And so every time anything happened, he's like, and he just starts like whistling like for everything. Well, then they do Three-Headed Broadway Star. And they're like, all right, we need something from the audience. And they're like, we need a name of a musical that you wouldn't normally think of. And the song was, or there was someone from the audience was like, "Whistle on Cue." And they're like, "Whistle on Cue, what's the song?" And then someone said, "Whistling Mother." And so like it's just like them just ripping into him for like 30 minutes about him fucking up how to whistle for like a 5-second skit.
I love it.
So like when they carry stuff on like that, it's super fun. But
yes,
yeah, so that's just kind of what I've been watching.
All right, Stylus, what about you? What you been watching?
Oh man, outside of golf because it's peaceful, I have been hitting New Girls so
Nice.
hard. This is like, oh man, I want to say it's like my 6th or 7th run through.
Phrasing.
How dare you? You get your head out of the gutter, Toast. You monster.
I'm not going to be the only one that thinks of this.
All right, disclaimer: I'm not hitting a New Girl.
No, New Girl is a fantastic show.
It's just, like,
it is. It's a really good
one of those shows that like. It not only did it have like some of the best writing on TV I've seen, but they chose a perfect cast just all around.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is.
But
it's
man,
really
like,
well done.
The interactions between Nick and Schmidt, like, just always break my brain, like humor wise. I had sent BFD a clip the other day of one of the episodes, and like I was at work and I took a sip and the scene came up and I had totally forgotten about it, and just mouth full of water. And the scene is it's a flashback to Nick Miller at a gym where he called dibs on one of the staff, and the staff member is like walking by while he's running on the treadmill, and he stops to be like, "Oh, do you have any snacks?" And loses all control, and like dead fish falls on the treadmill, like stiff as a board, just, and I lost it.
My favorite moment from that show is it's in the final season, and it's when no, it's not in the final season. It's whatever season it is that CC and Schmidt get married, and Jess makes out with his dad at the winery, and then she comes back to the apartment and she's like, "Yeah, I kissed Gavin from the winery," and Schmidt just like totally stiff and like straight face is just like, he's completely motionless except for his mouth, and he's just like,
dude, Schmidt is one of my favorite characters.
He's so good.
Schmidt's a great character.
I told you to stop Fredo kissing me.
Dude, I love whenever he's like sleeping with his boss, and she's not satisfied, and he's like losing his mind. So he goes to the gynecologist. He goes to the gynecologist,
the lesbian justice president, the lesbian gynecologist.
Yeah, and he goes. And he's like, well, first, I like to walk around the block. I like to talk to my neighbors. Got to say hi to the neighbors. If you don't have good neighbors, you don't have good community. And he's like, the way he describes sex, and she's like fought the whole time, and I'm like, I cried. I was laughing so hard.
And then I like to come out of the church and I greet the people, and I greet the people, and like it zooms over to her, and she's just like, oh, she's like, are you okay? I am a lesbian, but the baby hormones are not.
Yeah, the baby's as gay as I am, yeah.
And then it just ends with her being like, closing the book, and it's like, you need to go.
You need to leave. That's like one of my favorite scenes from that show is just the way, like I said, the way he describes it killed me.
The other thing,
and then like the parking spot.
That one was great.
I'm peeing myself on the inside.
But like the other thing that I love about it is like the constant air to the joke that is Winston can't prank.
Yes.
Yes.
He takes it too far. He gets people hurt.
Or not far enough, where he like hides a blueberry in Schmidt's cereal. Schmidt's just like, is this a blueberry? And Winston's like, shoot. And then the very next thing is just like, I'm gonna hit your ass with a ski.
Yeah.
Oh, anything else you've been watching?
Oh man, that is it since the last time. Just binging it hard.
What about you, Toast? You watching anything?
I just watched an anime called Steins Gate. It's incredible. It's really good.
Nice.
It's about time travel.
Ooh, time travel is always fun. There's an episode.
That's a really reductive way of putting it, without to completely throwing away the whole story.
No.
But it is technically about time travel, and the way that they deal with the time travel in this is different than anything I've seen before. It's really good, and it's a really touching anime. I'm not gonna lie, I was like crying at the end of it.
Have you seen Primer?
Primer? No.
The movie? Okay. So, have any of you seen Primer? The movie?
I have not.
Okay. So, I'll be really brief because I don't want to get off on a tangent, but it's a movie about time travel written by a group of physicists, like real life physicists who like actually understand the theory of time travel and all these different things, right? And one time, so I've seen it a few times, and I still don't know that I fully grasp what is actually happening in the movie. And it's one of those movies that like it's good to bring up if you're ever like around like film people. Like people are like, oh, I'm a huge film buff. I know every movie, like all these different things. Bring up Primer and see if they've seen it. And if they have, ask them what they thought of it. Because if they understood it, especially if they've only seen it once, they're completely full of shit. Because there's absolutely no way you could ever, and just like what you said with the anime, it's a very reductive way of describing the movie. It's not really, I don't know. Basically, it's like you crawl into this machine, and then you crawl back out of the machine, but you're still in the machine, so that you can exist in two places at once, kind of.
Okay.
It prevents paradoxes by making sure that you always exist in two places in time simultaneously.
Oh, it's not point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's quick saving.
Pretty much. Honestly, it's kind of like
that's kind of what that's kind of what he did in Steins Gate. He could go back to a certain point by sending a memory to his self from like several hours earlier. It's really interesting. They stumbled upon it by accident by he sent a text message to a phone that was connected to this weird device that they had discovered.
Okay.
And it sent the text message to himself like 5 days earlier.
Wow.
Which changed his memories because he read that text. And because he somehow genetically can remember the memories from old timelines, he thought he was going crazy until they started to discover that, oh, we're able to send texts back in time somehow, and it changes the current timeline that we're on. But the main character is the only one that's aware of those changes.
Wow.
Everybody else loses memory of even sending the message. So they send these messages, they radically change the world, and he's like sitting there like, oh my god, did you know what's happening right now? Nobody knows what's happening right now. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's really cool.
I'll definitely put a link to it on Crunchyroll or something in the description. Let's move on to what you're playing. I'm not playing anything new. I do want to spend about 5 seconds here complaining about a new-ish, I guess, trial that they have in Phantasy Star. So when you go into dungeons, you can either fight waves of enemies, which levels up your PSE meter that like triggers boss battles and stuff like that, or you can participate in these trials. And if you get into range of a trial, it automatically you join the trial automatically, and you can't cancel it. You're just like you're stuck in it till the time runs out. Well, this particular one has this like robot thing that's got a force field around it, and in order to hit the force field down, you have to destroy these 7 pods that are randomly throughout the zone, but they're invisible, and you have no way of knowing where they are. And as you're running around, the robot thing is hitting you with a super powerful laser about every 3 to 4 seconds. Literally, it just goes like bzz, and like hits you and like takes half your health down if you stop running. And so it's just maddening. And if you've watched any of my recent Fantasy Star streams, you can see me. I get unfortunate. I get that stupid trial triggered every damn time. And it's just, I don't know. It's not good game design. It's lazy game design, and it pisses me the fuck off. And like whoever came up with that like boss or that trial needs to knock it the hell off because it's like not fun at all. Although Toast brought up, we were talking about it a while back. He brought up that
I think they're trying to progress slowing down.
Yeah, try to slow my progress down since I'm one of the power players. That maybe they're trying to kind of level me up just a little bit. But
they throw stuff at you sometimes like that.
They do.
That's what game designers do.
I'll do really well, and it's like they'll throw a second boss at me that's like just impossible, and they're like, "Oh, you think you're good at this fucking game, huh?" And they'll throw something really hard at me, or like I was telling Toast the other day. There's these like meteors that fall from the sky, and you can pick them up and throw them at the bosses, and they do a shitload of damage. And part of my strategy is, as I'm walking around shooting my bow, I'm also picking these meteors up and throwing them. And I was like kicking the boss's ass so badly. Like at one point, it jumped up on top of like a building to try to get away from me, and then I pulled it back down again. And then a meteor fell, and I tried to like back up and grab one, and it like the game put a force field up that I couldn't get through. Like it put up an invisible barrier in my way, and I couldn't get to the meteor. Like the game was like, absolutely not. Nope. You've done that too many times. And I was like, fuck you, game. But anyway, that's all I've been playing. What about you, Toast? You been playing anything new or different or interesting?
Well, we already talked about it. I'm playing Dishonored right now. Got back into Fortnite. This latest season of Fortnite is lit. It feels like old school Fortnite again.
Was so beautiful. Truly beautiful.
Yeah, I wish we had recorded what we played last night. It was tremendous.
The food, what did you call it, BFT? The snack attack?
Yeah, the snack attack.
I liked what you called it. It was the four food groups of the apocalypse. That was my favorite one.
That one was good. But man, that was a golden moment. That was truly a golden moment. One for the record books.
Love it. What about you, BFD? You been playing anything interesting, noteworthy?
Not really. I mean, I'm still playing Skyward Sword. I still play Pinball Effects. So kind of the same thing. I, however, am super excited about the Metroid Prime remake. I love the Metroid series. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite game series like I've ever played. I've played all of them. They're amazing. I really enjoy those games. And so it was like really fun. It's like, all right, they made a remake of Prime for the Switch, and they updated the graphics. The controls are way smoother. It's not as clunky as it used to be on the Wii. I've heard nothing but just phenomenal reviews, which the storyline is great. I love the story, but like I'm really excited to get the new one to see the gameplay. Just like I loved Skyward Sword, and then they brought it over to the Switch, and it's super fun. The graphics look great. You know, it was just like it was an overall update that I really enjoyed. So I'm excited to see what they've done with the Metroid Prime games.
Very nice. And Stylus, what have you been playing? Anything noteworthy, interesting, anything like that?
Nothing new since our last session, but I have also been getting back into Fortnite, and I'm just this season is truly great. Like
it is
really
good.
Really great.
I love the upgrade system where as you're playing, you can do augmentations and have permanent really cool. upgrades. I like that was such a fun idea. I've really enjoyed that.
I'm gonna have to get into Fortnite. I can already tell.
It's a blast, man.
We can start after the podcast.
We might have to do that. All right. What you listening to? I've been listening to a lot of vaporwave and a lot of chip tunes lately. If you've never listened to Moon 8, it's the entire Dark Side of the Moon album redone in chiptunes, which is really, really, really cool. And there's also there's an NES ROM hack of Mario Bros. 2 that is Yellow Submarine. And so they swap out the 4 playable characters with the 4 Beatles members. And so there's an album you can listen to that's the Yellow Submarine album in 8-bit, which is pretty cool. Like the song Hey Bulldog, for example, in 8-bit just sounds really, really, really cool. Or like Eleanor Rigby in 8-bit sounds really, really cool. What about you, Toast? You been listening to anything interesting or noteworthy or different?
No, I'm just listening to my podcasts, news, stuff like that. I don't listen to anything exciting.
You're boring. You're boring like the rest of us.
I am.
He's just got white noise on a loop.
Yeah, I do.
Static.
Oh yeah,
It's better than the ringing I have in my ears constantly.
Static and the sound of dial-up internet connecting. Like that's
Oh,
just
there
like
you
all
go.
you listen to. Like day
I
in,
actually
day out.
do have that all
That's
the
what Daddy
time,
needs
24
right
hours
there.
a day. I
Give
have
Daddy
that
sweet white
high-pitched
noise.
ringing in my ear.
if you liked white
sucks.
noise from the '70s, you're gonna love our next hit. We like to call this Walmart plastic bag crumpling.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too.
What about you, BFD? You been listening to anything?
Not anything different. Though that being said, so here in Alabama, in the I guess it's a Pensacola Beach, Florida station, 97X. I put that in the car just to like listen to when I don't feel like listening to like audiobooks because like I'm just driving up the road kind of a thing, so I don't want to like load up a book and then sit in the parking lot for an hour listening to the audiobook. I'll listen to this station. And what I discovered the other day, because the first time I listened to it, I was like, shit, I just went golfing. Like maybe I'm a little too drunk to drive. But then I was driving the other day and I was like, nope, that's it. Like it's just this random station in Florida like plays Japanese rock from time to time. And so like
Really
so the
cool.
first time I heard it, I was like, I think I just need to go home. Like I think something's wrong. Well, then I was like, I went to a store here for it's like an aviation store. I went to go buy some like manuals and some study stuff for the UH-60 course. And on the way back, I was like, listen to it. I was like, nope, this is 100% Japanese. Like
That's cool.
This is J-Rock. I'm pretty sure this is One OK Rock to be specific. Like, and it just blew my mind. So I've been listening to just like that station just to see what else they'll play. But
That's awesome.
not really anything listening to wise. I do have an alibi for what I'm watching though. XFL. That's been something that I've just recently gotten into. It just started up this year. It's
Go Battlehawks.
yeah. So it's Extreme Football League. It's a summer football league, and it's the best. I like so
good.
if I'm not watching the games, then I try to listen to the games like via like online podcast type stuff, so I can hear the scores. It's pretty amazing. So as an alibi to what I'm watching. XFL is the new thing that I've been watching every Saturday and Sunday, and then I guess what I'm listening to when I get a chance, I'll listen to the scores.
Yeah, I can't believe we left out XFL and what we were watching. It's so
I know.
awesome.
Yeah, I definitely need to get into it. What about you, Mr. Stylish? You been listening to anything interesting or noteworthy?
Oh man, outside of like B-roll background porn music, no. No, just kidding.
Fascinating.
Pretty much just the same. Like everything that I listen to, I listen to on repeat, mostly because it's calming. Like work is stressful, life is stressful. I need that sweet, sweet release.
Yeah,
Daddy
I
needs
get
his fix.
All right. Well, real quick, let's shoot through this at the speed of light. I don't have much to say, but I'm added in a little mini section here. What you're reading? I'm currently reading Needful Things by Stephen King. It's really good. If you've not read it, I'm almost done with it. I'm pretty sure that it's somewhat of a sequel to another Stephen King book that I read recently, which just by coincidence I picked up Needful Things at the flea market. I decided recently that I'm going to try to buy things secondhand as often as possible, like games and books and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool because sometimes people will make notes in books, which is kind of fun. And I don't know, it's a good book. I like Stephen King. That's what I've been reading. You been reading anything noteworthy? Toast?
No.
No. Fuck books. BFD, what about you? You been reading anything interesting or noteworthy?
I mean, not really. I've got my Shinto books that I read before I go to bed, but like mostly, I've been reading the UH-60 mic model manual. It's like 1,000 pages of everything you'd ever want to know about a helicopter. So
cool.
Like I'm just like because like since that's my main airframe, like I got to know it inside and out.
Sure.
So I mean, that's really like here recently, like now that I'm at this point in my career, that's just kind of what I've been focusing on is kind of reading this manual and understanding the aircraft. So it's not exciting at
That's
all.
cool though. That is cool.
Like, I'm pretty sure I'd have more fun, shooting my toes off one by one. But it is exciting because like it's the airframe. I mean, so it's kind of like it's like being married, man. It's painful but beautiful.
All right, Stylus, you reading anything interesting or noteworthy?
Man, Bob's Big Book of Memes. I don't really read that much these days. I don't have time.
No, I got you. I read before bed. I read before bed and when I'm taking a shit. That's the only reason I've been able, because like Needful Things is like 800 pages. That's the only way I've been able to make it through it is by taking lots of shits and reading before bed.
I will say, like, I used to, but like here lately, I've been watching. So I don't know if you guys remember. It's still going, but like the old Studio C skits.
Hmm.
Do you guys ever watch
No.
Studio C from on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
I have to.
Yeah, highly recommend watching Studio C skits. They are hilarious, and it's like it's clean skits, but my god, they're hilarious. BFD, I think I had sent you the poker one, right?
Yeah, no, like that's what I said. I have to, because every time he finds a new one, I get it in Discord, and I'm obligated to watch it. And I will say they are so funny. Like every time, I've yet to be disappointed in one, and they're very clean. It's like a very clean humor.
Yeah.
So it's like super fun in the sense of like you can just kind of watch it anywhere.
That's cool.
But I mean, they are like I've been teary eyed by the end of them because I'm laughing so hard.
The poker one, I'll post it in the channel. But the poker one, oh my god, there's two of them. There's the first one, and then they did a sequel to it, and the second one will kill you. Like it's so good.
That's awesome.
They do a skit about Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the Nintendo, and that's my favorite one. It is so funny.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna post that in the channel.
That reminds me of those. Are they the 5-second films? I think from like back.
Yeah.
in the day.
Oh my god, that was so much fun.
There's the one where it's like
they
late
were so
for work,
good.
and the guy just like wakes up and looks over and goes, "I'm late for work." Fuck! And it's just like,
Yeah.
throughout the different day, like at the end, fuck, and then he like goes back to bed at the end of the day.
Yep, his head hits the pillow,
Yeah, he's just like
and he's been screaming the whole day through.
Whatever.
Yeah, they were really good.
Those were good. All right, so let's move on to, I guess, the meat and potatoes of the podcast, or the final, the penultimate, I guess, the next to last segment of the podcast here. Chatting about nothing. BFD had mentioned either 1 or 2 episodes ago that he didn't really know much about Seinfeld, hadn't really watched it. So we tasked him with watching season 1, and now we're going to kind of talk about season 1 just a little bit. So before we get started with what the rest of us have to say about it, BFD, give us your thoughts on season 1 of Seinfeld.
It makes me chuckle. It makes me laugh. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to not watch it. Like if I'm like bored as shit and I got the TV going and Seinfeld comes on, I'll let it go and I'll watch it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. Like I'm at the point now where I was just like I can either watch Seinfeld or I can watch Zaboomafoo, a animal TV show for preschoolers from the 90s. So I'm like, oh man, Zaboomafoo. I mean, what are the leopards doing today? Dude, look at that lemur. That's awesome as shit. Like, yeah. And that's just like, I like that kind of stuff, like that more educational.
I'm not sure what that says about you.
Yeah, it's because I'm an idiot, you know.
But I know you're not an idiot too. So
I'm willing to.
It's so confusing.
Honestly, man, like I love like animal stuff like so much. Like I was talking to Savage Pikachu, my wife, the other day about like what my dream job would be, and I think I'm starting to nail it down. I think if I could be a Sikorsky helicopter pilot that did zoo tours, and I just if I could like do safari tours, and I could just like take people to fly around and scope out animals and habitats and like just check that shit. Because like I would sit there all day and watch the rhinos. Like I would have zero problems flying by. Like, dude, look at those giraffes. That's awesome as shit. Oh my god, did you see the lemurs they were playing? Like, dude, the other day when that lemur like hopped on my shoulder and was like licking my face and like hanging out on my head. I was like, this is like the best time of my life.
I would have been freaking out.
Oh, dude, it's
I can't
great.
stand that.
Oh, it was just like man, it's so fun, man. Like when I was holding the fucking macaroni penguin, I was like, this is the coolest thing. I love that kind of stuff. So for me, I like those kind of shows because I'm just like, oh, dude, that could be me. I could fly helicopters and be like, yeah, you see those penguins? This is their habitat, and like just do like a helicopter tour of like a zoo.
That's super cool.
Like, so if I could be a Sikorsky zoologist pilot, like that, I'd be fine with that. That would be the dream job.
That would be badass.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're definitely on the path to let something like that happen, dude.
Yeah.
So
you are.
I mean, I love that kind of stuff. So so I say that I'm more inclined to watch Zaboomafoo or like, oh man, like I literally have a one of 1,000 edition Crocodile Hunter series that I got when I was in Australia.
That's cool.
After I went to the Australian zoo that was started by Steve Irwin and his family.
That's so
I love that kind of stuff. So I say that to say Seinfeld, so I get pulled away from other stuff. Like just Seinfeld to me, I'm just like, I hate Kramer. I hate Kramer so much.
You're a monster.
That's insane.
No, hold on.
He's only seen season 1.
He's only seen season 1.
So as of season 1, right now, I hate Kramer. I think Kramer is just an absolute loser who has done at this point in the series, he has yet to leave the apartment building in 10 years.
Correct.
Oh
so he
you're right.
Yeah.
Only wants other people to suffer.
Yeah.
Like he wants Jerry to suffer, he wants other people to suffer, and he
have
thrives on that
Kramer,
chaos.
and we're going to do a whole video on it.
And so it's like I will continue to watch Seinfeld for this. Like we talked about the last time. It was like, oh man, it's kind of like a book club only with TV. I will continue to watch it for the next one. I started getting to season 2. I will continue with season 2 for the next episode. But so as of right now, Kramer is just a loser. He wants people to suffer, and he thrives off their chaos because that's his TV, and he just wants to feel like he's not an absolute just waste of space.
Okay.
Elaine is needy as hell. So whenever I've seen episodes of Seinfeld come on, I just kind of assumed that she was just part of the group like everyone else. Like they had known each other for years.
Right.
I didn't realize when the series started they had just recently broke up. Like they've only known each other for a little bit. But she is such an entitled waste of fucking space. It is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they all are. You're understanding the show.
Yeah, you're getting it.
But at the same time, so I know
what makes the show good.
But they're just I can't stand Elaine. I don't want to be together, and I'm going to tell you about me banging other dudes. But if I see you flirt with another girl, I'm going to throw a fit. And it's like, how does this work? Which I get. That's I get that. That's just typical life and people in relationships. However, it's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was so wildly popular, dude. It was real life.
Well, and I get that. And I think that's my problem is because
you're supposed to hate them. You're not supposed to love them.
Well, and that's the thing. I guess that's my problem. So in the 90s, I was like, dude, I was a kid. I was growing up. I was enjoying my life, having a good time, skateboarding, doing all that shit. I struggle, I guess, with the 90s adult idea because, me as an adult now, I'm like, you're dumb as shit. How? Well, how is this an issue? How is this such a big deal?
Let me say this. Okay, so a couple of things about the first season of Seinfeld. So first of all, it's the shortest season. It's also one of the shortest season orders in television history. There's only 5 episodes in the first season. They did a pilot and they ordered 4 more episodes to bring it up to a total of 5. The pilot was super unpopular. Most people were like, it's too Jewish, it's too New York. We can't relate to this thing. A lot of people were like, George is a loser. Nobody likes George. Why would you, whatever it is, But it is really a wonder, when it comes to, how, first of all, you cannot see what Seinfeld eventually becomes in that first season. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why, I'm willing, every podcast, it's a book club. I'm learning, but based off season 1, I hate Kramer. Elaine is needy and annoying. And then I know like George was like, I guess eventually becomes like Jerry's worst friend. When it comes to season 1, George is like straight up Jerry's rock. Like, and he actually tells Jerry that he loves him in episode 1.
He does actually say that
in his own way.
Okay,
so
but not the actual words.
Well, because he's terrified. I mean, you're talking about a guy who has Munchausen syndrome. Like, if anything could go wrong, like, I mean, he straight up does. If anything can go wrong, it does go wrong. If he sees a documentary about having a heart attack, he has a heart attack at the restaurant. He has Munchausen syndrome. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong, and he's terrified of that. In fact, in episode, I think
Kramer.
1,
you're understanding the show. You understand the show very well.
Yeah, so like,
I'm sorry, not Kramer, it's George.
Yeah, so at one point George is talking to Jerry, and he's like, Jerry, I don't know why I did it. I told her I liked her. And now the relationship is ruined. When you tell a woman you like her, it's done. It's over. They understand they win. We're done, Jerry. We're done. Like, he's like, I like you. I'll never tell you I like you. And that right there shows that George loves Jerry, but he's so afraid to be honest with his. He's so he's afraid to be honest with his.
He's the most neurotic person you're ever going to see.
Exactly, and because he does not want to. And like, so then you get to episode,
and it's based off 2? Larry David.
Yeah.
That's what's even better about that character.
So then you get into episode 2, where Jerry meets that chick with Elaine's friend at their party or whatever. And he's like, all I know is she works over here. George literally takes time out of work because Jerry asked him to.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what am I even supposed to be doing here? Just say you bumped into her. He's like, no, I can't do it. Look, George is always there. Like, yeah,
that's
George
still
does
because
a lot of
George is the lazy piece of shit. Like, George hates work. You're gonna learn. He
does.
Man. You're gonna learn.
He changes careers so many times throughout that series. You're gonna forget what he's done.
And Jerry just constantly makes jokes
it's always big stuff too. Like, how does he get these big jobs? It doesn't make sense.
And Jerry's like, if you could see how hard he works at being unemployed, he could have a job doing that.
But I mean, that's the thing, though, because he does do all that stuff. He is lazy, but like, that's literally everybody. He has these great jobs because he's smart, he's intelligent, he knows how to do it. He's trying to get to that retirement and find his best way to do it. That's why you get into that whole stock thing.
Boy. He's the biggest bullshitter
at the end of the season.
Yeah, the naivety that is being displayed here.
Well, I mean, you say that, but like, how many like jobs have you had that you have a manager or someone higher up that you're like, how in the fuck did you get this job? George is the only real person in that show.
So
every time
I can't say anything with it because like he has to watch the rest of it to learn. Like, so that's why I say like you're being naive, but it's only because I know what lies ahead and you don't.
Yeah, it's interesting how different George of all the characters. It's interesting how different George is in later seasons than how George is in earlier seasons.
Like, you could honestly call Seinfeld like the decline of George.
Kind of, yeah. Like, he starts out as a much different person, and then by the end, he's like,
he goes from calm, collected, and moderately successful to pants off around his ankle,
raging psychopath.
Serenity now. all I know is based off season 1. Seinfeld is about a show of a comedian who got lucky, but is such. And like, just so afraid of any kind of confrontation, and is such a giant child that he can't get his life together because that would involve him to like.
He's emotionally stunted.
Yes. Yeah, he's very emotionally stunted.
He's very neurotic. Wait until you meet his parents.
To me, this is like
Frank Stiller plays his dad, and it's the greatest thing in TV history.
Yes,
in my opinion, this show is like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, only not as funny or extreme. Like, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like, they're all like
way
super
before that.
Well, exactly.
Give it time.
There wouldn't have been Always Sunny in Philadelphia if there hadn't been a Seinfeld first.
And I agree with that.
Seinfeld crawled so they could run.
He hasn't seen. Have you seen the episode of It's Always Sunny where they all flash back, and the flashback is a Seinfeld episode they saw once, and both Charlie and Mac are Jerry?
Yeah. So and yeah. So I'm not saying that like it's a bad show. I'm not saying that it's a bad show. It's just not. I would not go out of my way when I call myself a dedicated fan.
That's fair.
As of right now, I will continue to watch and develop.
Modern television is so wildly different than it was then.
It is.
Like, modern television now tells true stories better than, like, movies do.
Yeah.
And then, like when you watch something like Seinfeld, where it's like nothing matters, nothing matters. At all. You're just watching the chaotic lives of these idiots.
Well, yeah,
played by comedians. All four of them are comedians, and they're pretending to be these New York morons that are somehow connected to everything in the city. These four idiots are connected to the heart of the city. They can meet with the mayor if they want to. They are within reach of everyone in the city. It doesn't make sense. And they're the worst people on the planet. They are just the worst people on the planet.
Well, and that's the thing. There are parts where I'm just like, it makes me chuckle. Like, I will start to laugh. And a lot of those times, though, are like when Jerry is like doing his stand-up. Mm-hmm. Like the cotton ball. Like, he does the cotton ball joke in season 1 where he's like, I don't know why you women need cotton balls. Everything needs to have a cotton ball. You can go buy a cotton ball bag with 1 million cotton balls. You wake up the next day, need more cotton balls. Well, what are you doing with cotton balls? And I was crying. I was like, that is so true.
Whenever he talks about like how he just likes to leave them around on the ground as like a tumbleweed for bugs. Like, well, yeah, dead town. I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, like, so it's just that's the stuff that I find funny. But like the rest of the show, there's parts in the show where I do find funny. Kramer does make me laugh from time to time. Elaine kind of makes me laugh from time to time. But George and Jerry's relationship, I really enjoy because, like, as far as season 1 goes, like, you can tell, like, they rely so heavily on each other. Like, I mean, the episode, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they love each other, and like, but George said it in his own way in episode 1, and he'll never say it again because in George's mind, every time he tells someone he likes them or loves them, they leave, and he's not going to take that chance with Jerry.
That's fair,
and that's why, like, even like when they do the at one episode, he finds an apartment. And it's got a fireplace, and he's like, "Holy crap! It didn't have a fireplace." Like, but that's the whole episode is they fight over like who should get it because he's like, "Yeah, I want it," and Jerry's like, "No, well, if you want it, I don't want it." He's like, "Well, if you don't want it, I'm not going to take it because you're not going to take it because I want it." And they argue about like they want to take care of each other and they want each other.
But you're misreading that. Like, that's George ultimately guilting Jerry out of the apartment.
But like, at the same time,
is George guilting him out of it?
Yeah. George, at the same time, George is the most self-serving person. Like, you'll learn.
But he doesn't end up with the apartment
My
either.
sweet summer child, you'll learn.
George is a fucking incompetent idiot.
So is Jerry, though.
The entire thing. But that's the point. Is Jerry?
But Jerry owns up to it. Jerry knows he's a snake, but he owns up to it. He does.
Like, Jerry had it. It was his. It was done. But then George sees the apartment for the first time and says, "This place is amazing. I'm gonna guilt him out of it."
But that's the same thing. Like, but at the same time, they don't though. I mean, like, they argue about it, and he's like, actually, like, "Hey, I want you to have it. Like, I'm sorry. I just like."
But immediately after he goes, "Why did I throw a 2?"
But okay. I mean, that's the whole show. Is like you have a series of incompetence that like they're all just incompetent. And I'm like, all of this show's problems could be solved with very easy solutions. You're all just dipshits. Like,
okay,
and it's hard to watch because it's just like, holy shit.
Just wait, because so in season 2, the second episode of season 2 is called The Pony Remark, and the whole premise is Jerry makes a jackass remark at dinner, and then
so I have seen that one.
You have seen that one? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a great episode. It only goes uphill from here. The show gets infinitely better as it goes on. By the time you get to season 4, Seinfeld is Seinfeld. Like it's like what we all think of when we think of Seinfeld, because season 4, I'm pretty sure
it was pretty polished by then.
Yeah, they had they had figured out the characters. They had introduced Newman by that point. Mm-hmm. And both Frank and Estelle had been introduced by that point. And anyway.
Can I make a suggestion right here, right now?
Yeah, what's up?
Can we for the next, until we all finish watching Seinfeld together from season 2, our future podcasts will be this, talking about Seinfeld.
Every month?
Yes.
Oh my god, maybe.
I think we should do it. I think we should start binge watching Seinfeld. We all watch it together. Like you said, book club.
We could book club
and we do this. And then at the end, we can do that video that I came up with. Remember?
Okay.
The theory I've got, because after we psychoanalyze it, I'm going to have a lot more ammunition for this.
Okay.
Like how long are the seasons?
Do this.
Like
20 episodes tops. I mean, like,
so I can
make it through a season in like 2 days.
Yeah, you can get through it.
Yeah,
I can you don't even have to be watching it closely. You could be studying and have it on the TV and just kind of hearing it.
And we can fill you in if like you like miss something or whatever. Plus, or like the wiki, like
it really is that mindless.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, I guess maybe that's why I just could not get into the show. I was like, this is like, there's no, I don't know. There was like ultimately, it was just like, this does nothing.
You got to turn your brain off to watch it, man. Just shut it down.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up this segment with one final little thing. BFD, you're not going to be able to participate in this, unfortunately, because you haven't seen the whole series yet.
All right, well, this is BFD. I'm signing out. Fuck me, I guess.
And the other three of us, you don't have to get into detail or anything. You can just say the title of it, and later on, maybe like at the end, after we've all seen the whole series, we can get into more detail about it. But just right now, top of your head or whatever, what is your favorite Seinfeld episode, and why, briefly? So my favorite episode, I would have to say, is the Muffin Tops episode. And the reason the Muffin Tops episode is my favorite is because all 4 plots in that episode are fucking ridiculous, and they are absolutely hilarious. They're stupid beyond stupid and fucking hilarious. So that's why they're my favorite. So Toast, what would you say is your favorite one?
I like I think it was a multiple episode arc. It was a Kramer arc where he was like on the run because he was wanted for murder or something.
Oh, when they go to Hollywood, he's in Hollywood.
Yeah,
a screenwriter. That's a
good one.
That is the name of that episode. Yeah, or the trip.
How about you, Kramer man?
You ever
killed a man?
What do you think, Junior? These hands have been soaking in ivory liquid.
I'll tell you what I'd do if he took those keys from me.
I'd stab him. I'd kill him like a fish, man.
That's my favorite episode.
Yeah, that's
a good one. That's the one that solidified my theory.
Well, that's also the second half of that episode when they're interrogating him, and he's just like, "You're a weird." I swear to God, don't you ever swear to my God. My God eats little worms like you for breakfast.
I love that he like sobers up right there. He's like, "Wait, how did you know about
the guy in the park?"
Yes,
get out.
All right, and Stylish, your favorite episode?
It's gonna have to be a toss-up for me because it's either between the contest or the soup.
Oh, good choices.
Like, I think the one that makes me laugh the most would be the contest because it's just like as soon as Kramer like is just sitting at the window, and he's like,
"I'm out,"
and then just walks away, and then like literally 20 seconds later, just comes in and slams somebody down the table like.
That's the scene. That's the scene from It's Always Sunny that they're parodying.
Yeah.
It's Dennis and Mac are both Jerry. Dee is Elaine, and Charlie is Kramer, and George is Frank. And God, that is a good episode.
So I lose it right there, and then I lose it again where like Jerry's like struggling so hard because he's dating the virgin, and he's just sitting on the couch and he's just like singing along to Tiny Toons. He's just like the wheels on the bus go. And then Kramer is at the window watching the naked chick. He's like, hands on the chest, go up and down. And Jerry just starts singing louder, and I'm just like, this is amazing because he's just sitting there like stroking his legs like he's a junkie.
Amazing episode. All right, well, that was a great chatting about nothing, a great first chatting about nothing. We will chat more about nothing in future episodes. So let's move on to the outro here. Sketch pitches. Does anyone have any sketches to pitch? Because I don't have anything new to pitch, but I was going to mention if we could ever film the element of surprise sketch, that could totally be a YouTube short. We could definitely come in under a minute on that thing, and that would be a hilarious YouTube short. We should definitely look into doing that. Stylus, if you're not familiar with that, basically it's a professor lecturing about all the different elements in the periodic table. And he mentions that some of them are quite rare, like plutonium and uranium. Others, though, are encountered constantly or frequently and are necessary for everyday life, such as carbon, oxygen, silicone, or whatever. And then a ninja bursts in and stabs the guy in the first row, and then runs back out. And they all like look at the professor, and the professor is like, "The element of surprise." And so
I love it.
I feel like we could do that as a YouTube short because we could easily come in under a minute on that. But does anybody?
It could be animated too.
Oh, easily. We could definitely animate it.
It would be easier, most likely.
Stuff
Yeah, honestly.
to pitch. Yeah, that's probably true. It would be easier. But any new sketches to pitch?
I
I
got
don't have
nothing.
anything right now, sadly.
Damn, we all suck. It's all good. We'll have to.
I've been writing a short story.
What's that? Say that again.
I've been writing a short story.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Death.
Oh, fun.
All right, somebody look into Toast Mental
Because
Health.
I'm still a 16-year-old emo boy inside.
Pain in my heart. I dyed my hair black like my soul.
It technically is about death, but it's not like 16-year-old angsty emo stuff anymore.
That's cool. You should shoot me a draft or something. We should do something fun with it. I'm sure we could do something with it.
Yeah, death's always fun.
Yeah.
Way to put
sells, man.
Dude, so the other day,
sells
and he
better
was
than
like
death and
gargling. I was like,
sex.
You old card.
Way to flip it, Sixes.
All right. Well, if no one has any sketches, I think that's going to probably wrap it up for us.
That being said, real quick, if you guys got any ideas on how I can get property and start a lemur sanctuary, toss those my way.
Hey, buy one of those cities in Japan. You can buy one of those towns. You can buy for like $100 or something. We'll put some lemurs there.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been Historic 66, Texas Toasted, BFD, and Stylus Crude with the not the Historic 66, the Wisecracker Podcast. I'm such a arrogant bastard. The Wisecracker Podcast.
Oh no, we're all just here for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's
You tell us
I'm
how
the
you-
one. I'm the Caesar. Caesar Historic. That's why we got 6 timber. All right. We will see you all next time. Thank you to anyone that listens. Stay safe out there. We love you. Goodbye.
Later, guys.